Oh, hello there. Yes, bank holiday weekend. It's already got that autumnal feel, hasn't it? Brr. Yes. Anyway, today I'd like to do a little bit of a dive into the Free Speech Union because Mr. Young, Mr. Toby Young, Lord Young's boy, was busy at the weekend telling us tales of woe. So, yes, this is from the Daily Skeptic, which is their kind of regular publication. It usually contains lots and lots of things about the fact that there's no such thing as climate change. But leaving that aside, its motto is question everything, stay sane, and live free, which is my intention today. Certainly questioning everything. I'm not quite sure about the sanity thing. Anyway, he highlights a new and pernicious front in the war against wokery. So we've got Free Speech Union highlights new risk to free speech in workplace. Carbon literacy training, yes, something new to get cross about. And the reason why they're saying this is wrong is based on a particular sort of logic stream. So let's just going to pick out certain things from the key paragraph. The Free Speech Union is concerned that this training is embedding a particular orthodoxy about climate change in British workplaces, leaving employees feeling unable to challenge it. Yes, you can't have a particular orthodoxy on things. It's got to be a plurality of views. That's important, isn't it? Yeah. So, just a little bit further down, there is no such thing as an apolitical scientific solution. Yes, no such thing in essence as a homogeneous truth, right? And yet, with the Free Speech Union, two examples I'll give you where this is potentially problematic, and the Free Speech Union kind of just walks away whistling from these particular issues. But anyway, I think it was on Saturday he linked to an article that had come out from Civitas. What's BBC Bitesize really teaching our kids? Yeah. What are they really teaching, those Maoists at the BBC thrusting this stuff on our kids? Well, let's have a look, shall we? And then we'll sort of think about that orthodoxy viewpoint. Accounts of American history offer a sanitised view of the Black Panthers, omitting their Maoism and criminality and presenting them as part of the mainstream civil rights movement and not a rupture from it. Okay. Yes, so we've got a sanitised view on a site for children. Have a think about that in terms of all of those stories we get in the media about throwing filth at kids, right? First up. Secondly, the role of the Black Panthers is very much embedded in a particular orthodoxy when it comes to teaching it in schools. It is mentioned, especially at GCSE level, for example, as an important component of the civil rights movement, and that's widely accepted, I think, as a general scientific consensus. There are obviously different viewpoints, but that's plurality for you. However, the problem that we get here, of course, is that they don't want that plurality. What we want is that nice MLK, probably ignoring the fact that he got shot in a motel. Yeah, ignore that bit of it, the fact that he was seen as a dangerous threat as a revolutionary. Is that part of the orthodoxy? I don't know. Anyway, moving on, right, okay? An article on social justice endorsed affirmative action policies as a means of bringing about group-level equality of outcomes. Yeah, well, that's just standard citizenship. Another on sexuality and gender identity, in inverted commas, linked to an organisation that offered advice on how to use a chest binder safely, as well as group and chemsex. For those not in the know, the latter is sex while under the influence of drugs, often crystal meth. This can be done safely, apparently. Yeah, which is probably good news if you think about it. But think about that, okay? That, what this is doing effectively is suggesting to you that BBC Bitesize is suggesting that children go out there, score some meth, and just have wild sex. And I would be quite surprised if that's actually the case, which of course is the case, if you like, yeah? Links to an organisation that links to something else is very, very spurious. After all, the Free Speech Union links to loads of organisations that are basically at least borderline fascist. Anyway, going back to the whole orthodoxy thing about orthodox thought, here we have these two contradictions. Not particularly contradictions, because of course the Free Speech Union wouldn't do that, but whereby we're supposed to question everything, but we mustn't question certain things. We mustn't have a plurality of views, but we must accept a plurality of views. Yes. Now, the Free Speech Union is very, very picky about what it chooses, and the question I'd like to ask is, how come in cases that it highlights of religious discrimination, it's always Christians? Yeah. Can't Muslims, for example, be angry about particular orthodoxies which are being thrust at them? And the example there that I might use is the Prevent programme. I mean, if ever there was a kind of ideological stance that was being thrust at teachers under threat of disciplinary action, because it's something that teachers have to do at least once every 2 years, is renew their Prevent training, then surely that's it. And lots of people, particularly Muslim teachers, have highlighted the often problematic nature of the Prevent strategy, and yet nothing from the Free Speech Union about that particular orthodoxy. Because that's what the Free Speech Union is about, isn't it? It presents itself as this kind of anarchic punk rocker style, whereas realistically what they are is the boomtown rats of the orthodoxy, yeah? They'll go as far as saying they don't like Mondays, but they're not going to tear the whole place down. No. They would very, very much against kids being on crystal meth, sitting on a roof with a rifle, presumably. Anyway, on that very rambling end note, do have a lovely Sunday. Yeah, don't accept the orthodoxies you're going to get. There'll be a lot of them.